big news is in. World's Strongest Man 2025 groups have been announced. Now, to say I'm excited for this is an understatement. I'm going to do a video in a couple of days' time doing some predictions. I've already sort of started looking through, thinking, you know, there's some good battles on these events and that events, thinking about sort of how it's going to pan out, but I need to sort of really go into it a bit deeper to get a good prediction in there. But I mean, wow, the groups are incredible. I think all of the athletes are amazing. I think they've all got their sort of real strengths and real weaknesses. It's going to be a hell of a battle, and I cannot wait to see how this pans out. It's going to be incredible. I think so many great battles, so many things to talk about. I think this is going to be probably, I don't think probably actually, I think this is the deepest lineup we've ever had at World's Strongest Man. From top to bottom, every athlete there is incredible. So it's going to be a good one. The reigning champ, Tom Stoltman, Austin Andrade, 4th place at World's Strongest Man last year. Eddie Williams, Thomas Evans, and Jaco Schoonwinkel. Now, I think this is a great lineup. I think obviously Tom is the reigning champ. At World's Strongest Man, he does always turn up. I mean, I know there's a lot of talk about him underperforming perhaps in other shows. He will not underperform at World's Strongest Man. He always turns up at his best. You know, obviously, we know about the sort of autism and stuff. Maybe the other shows just sort of play with his mind a little bit. But at World's Strongest Man, he always delivers really well. So I'm looking forward to seeing Tom at his best, going head to head with maybe Mitch and, you know, these guys, Evan, Singleton, you know, a few of the other guys that are all going to be in the mix. But I think if Tom turns up at his best, obviously he's one of the favourites. Austin was incredible last year. Super strong guy. I've been impressed since I first saw him at the Shore Classic. He did the open category. Every time I've seen him, he's looked super impressive. Real strong guy, and actually a lot better at the moving events than you'd expect him to be. And I don't mean that in a nasty way. He's a real like bull of a guy. He's thick set. He's really super strong. He's got that static power, but he's not unathletic at all. He is a good all-round strong man, and I'm really interested to see how he gets on this year and whether he can improve on that 4th place from last year. Eddie Williams, to me, is probably the most improved strongman over the last couple of years. I think he's been mega impressive. He was really good at World's Strongest Man last year, was unlucky not to make the final, and then was also really impressive in Vegas at Giants Live. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing if Eddie's sort of taken that next step, and, you know, he can then go on this year and maybe make the final and maybe look at aiming to sort of crack top 5. If he's made the same improvements again, that's not out of the question. Thomas Evans, always impressed with Tom. He's very good strong man, super strong, good athlete as well. I mean, I think we haven't seen the best of him yet. I honestly believe he's got more there at World's Strongest Man. He's put in some big performances. I know he was impressive at Rogue last year. I'd love to see him put in a big performance at World's Strongest Man that I know he's capable of. So looking forward to seeing that. And I think, you know, he's another one you'd be looking at it, if you had him in your group, you'd kind of be thinking, oh, you know, he's going to cause me some problems on some of these events. Even if you were one of the big hitters, you'd still be thinking, I know he's going to be tough. So I'm really hoping this is a sort of breakthrough year for Thomas. He's a very good strong man. And Jaco Schoonwinkel, now, he, year before last, I didn't know much about him apart from he'd done well at OSG, came to World's Strongest Man, won the group, beat Brian Shaw and Rauno Heinler in the group stages, was unbelievable right from the word go, was unlucky to get injured in the final, hasn't quite sort of reached those levels again, but he's definitely still got it there. He's a very good strong man. Very impressive on things like loading, stuff like that. The typical strongman events he's very good at. He's got that sort of real sort of raw strength that's not necessarily about sort of built up in the gym. It's, you know, he's just got that strength of just picking up awkward things and moving with them and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Jaco, and hopefully he's fully back to his best and we can see a real good battle, but that's a tough group. So in this group, we have got Mitch Hooper, Matt Ragg, Paddy Haynes, Wes Dawinski, and Bryce Johnson. Now, I'm excited for this. Obviously, Mitch is an amazing athlete. He's been incredible the last few years. Absolutely fantastic all-round athlete. I think he's the one athlete probably with the least weaknesses. We've got Matt Ragg, obviously amazing deadlifter, super strong guy, great at stones as well. Just an all-round good strong man. Paddy Haynes. Now, I think Paddy is a dark horse and someone that could cause a few guys some problems at World's Strongest Man. He's incredibly good at moving events. He's got a great deadlift as well. Perhaps the pressing's not quite up to scratch yet, but everything else is very good. So I expect to see him put a bit of pressure on Mitch on the loading race. Could be very good at the throw-in. He'll be good at the deadlift. Could certainly be in the mix. He's obviously got Matt and Hooper, who are both great deadlifters. So it'll be interesting to see how he matches up against those guys. Then we've got Wes Dawinski. Now, Wes is someone I'm a big fan of. He's almost like an old school strongman. He just gets on with it, does it. You can tell he really loves strongman. I'm glad he got one of the sort of last wild card spots. Made the final World's Strongest Man last year. Had a solid performance at Strongest Man on Earth as well. I've got a lot of time for Wes as a person and as an athlete. I think he's, yeah, like I said, he's old school. He kind of just gets on with it, does it because he loves it, and I can really appreciate that. And last but not least is Bryce Johnson. Now, I know he was super impressive at OSG. I'm really looking forward to seeing Bryce get his opportunity. I've not seen much of him compete, so I'm always excited to see new guys. And obviously, it's great to see him getting their opportunity. So, going to be a hell of a battle in this group. Okay, so in this group, we have got the Terminator himself, Matthias Kielakowski, Lucas Hatton, Rain O'Neill, Shane Flowers, and Evans Nana. Now, I think this is a really interesting group. I think this is one of the ones I'm the most excited about, because if Matthias is on and he's back to his best, which it looks like he is, he's incredible. I mean, we all know he's not the best deadlifter in the world, but everything else, he is absolutely elite level strongman. Whether it's pressing, whether it's carrying events, speed events, you know, he's elite. He's one guy that could beat someone like Hooper on things like farmers walks and carrying events. Amazing strongman. And yeah, I really hope he's sort of back to his best. I think he's, in my opinion, one of the best strongmen that's never won World's Strongest Man. And, you know, he's still not that old. You know, he's been around forever, but he's still not that old. It's not out of the question that he could do that at some point. We've then got Lucas Hatton. Now, I'm again excited to see Lucas. I really want to see him deliver performances like he has done at other shows, Strongest Man on Earth and the Arnolds. Super strong guy, more athletic than people give him credit for. I think World's Strongest Man, if you'd have asked me 2 years ago, I would have been unsure how he'll perform. And obviously after seeing him a few more times and knowing a bit more about him, he's an ex-shot putter, I believe. Generally, those guys are very fast and explosive and very athletic as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing Lucas at his first World's Strongest Man. And, you know, could it be another sort of pound stone type performance where he comes in and nearly wins the whole show in his first year? I think Magnus Magnuson did it. You know, this really could be for Lucas one of those moments. He's probably one of the favourites, and this is still his first ever World's Strongest Man. I know he's done other big shows, but this is his first Worlds, and he is one of the favourites. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Lucas. Rain O'Neill. Now, obviously, I've said in a previous video, I haven't seen much of him compete, but I know that everyone talks very highly of him. A few people I know that have sort of competed with him and seen him compete are mega impressed. I think a lot of people are talking like he's an absolute superstar in the making. So really looking forward to seeing him compete. And, you know, can he challenge guys like Lucas and Matthias? I mean, from what I'm hearing, he's got a good chance of doing that. So excited to see. Shane Flowers. I think Shane is looks very locked in from his training for World's Strongest Man this year. I'm glad that he skipped Europe's and gave himself the best opportunity to go and put in a big performance at Worlds. I think Shane has got it in the tank. He's got a lot of good events. He's very consistent. And I think that this could, even in that group, could be a breakthrough moment for Shane. I think he's been unlucky, got to World's Strongest Man, broke his foot, I believe, or his ankle. So he was unfortunate. Then last year he got injured literally like 10 days before World's Strongest Man. I think this could be the moment where we see what Shane's really made of. He's got obviously Matthias, Lucas, Reno in his group that are all, you know, very good by all accounts. I'm not going to obviously put down Evans Nana. I'm not saying he's not good either. I just hadn't got to him on the list yet. But Shane is a very, very good strong man. I think he's one of the guys from an English perspective that's sort of got a big future ahead of him. So I'm looking forward to seeing Shane do the business. And last but not least, Evans Nana. I'm a big fan of Evans. I think he's great energy. He's great to have around at the shows. But on top of that, he's a very good strong man as well. I think that he is exceptionally good at a lot of events. He was very, very good at the World Tour Finals, Giants Live World Tour Finals. I think he that's what sort of got him the invite, was a good performance there. He was very impressive, real good all-rounder, good at the moving events as well. So this World's Strongest Man set up with the events the way they are could go well for him. So yeah, I mean, all in all, I think that's going to be a great battle, and actually one of the groups I'm most excited to see. In this group, we have got Trey Mitchell, Luke Richardson, Tristan Howarth, Andre Fouetou, and Maxime Boudreau. Again, this is a group I'm buzzing for. I think Mitchell and Luke Richardson had a couple of great battles last year in Vegas, Birmingham, and World Tour Finals as well. They were very nip and tuck on both of those competitions. Trey's a great strong man. Luke's a great strong man. I think they're both extremely good all round. I don't see that it's out of the question that both of those guys will be challenging for top 5 at World's Strongest Man. They're both incredible, and yeah, looking forward to seeing them do battle. The one thing that they've got that's going to cause them a few problems is Tristan Howarth in their group. Now, Tristan came 5th at World's Strongest Man last year, first World's Strongest Man ever. And a few people were talking about him before the show, saying, you know, he's good, like he'll surprise a few people. And I've got to say, I was so impressed with him in the heats last year. He was brilliant. Just such a good, solid competitor. No real weakness, you know, just good at all the strongman events, good at carrying, you know, just a real sort of throwback strongman almost. You know, he's just good at all those like awkward things and great grip. You know, I was mega impressed with Tristan last year, and I hope he can sort of build on last year's performance and do some damage again this year. I mean, those 3 in that group already are incredible strongmen. You've got Trey and Tristan, who have both been top 5 at World's Strongest Man. Luke Richardson, 2 times winner of Europe's Strongest Man. Yeah, it's going to be a hell of a battle for them. But then we've got Andre Fouetou. Now, Andre is one of the real superstars in the making in the sport, in my opinion. He's just 23 years old. I mean, well over 200 kilo log press, but he's not just a log press, although that's what everyone knows him for. He is so good at pretty much everything. Really good strong man. Every time I've seen him, he's improved. I mean, he has got a massive future. He actually pushed Hooper hard in the heats last year on a few of the events. He's a very good strong man, and again, it's not out of the question for him to be in that mix. I think this group is probably the one I'm most excited about, because then the 5th guy, not that it's in any order, is Maxime Boudreau, who's a third place finisher at World's Strongest Man. So you've got 3 guys that have been top 5 at World's Strongest Man, one of which has been a podium finisher. You've got another finalist in Luke Richardson, who's also just come off the back of winning Europe's Strongest Man and has won it in the past as well. And Andre Fouetou is probably one of the most up-and-coming, impressive strongmen on the circuit at the moment. So I think this group is going to be fantastic. I don't know how it's going to go. You know, it's just, yeah, like I said, I'll do a video in the near future going over the events and the groups and who I think is going to do well. But I mean, that's a hell of a battle. And I think the thing that makes that group so good is they're, you know, you'd say that Mitch and Tom are probably like the 2 favourites. Like Trey is obviously going to be up there. Luke's going to be up there. Tristan has been up there and could be again, you know, and so on. But there's not that one who's like an absolute favourite for World's Strongest Man. They're all guys that could get in the conversation about getting on the podium. And I think that's what makes this group so good. Really excited for it. And yeah, I just hope all the guys do well. We have got Evan Singleton, Luke Stoltman, Nick Guardione, Pavlo Cordiaca and Andrew Flynn. Now, another group which I think is fantastic. Evan, obviously coming 3rd at World's Strongest Man last year, showing that he can deliver at Worlds when he needs to. And I'm sure that he's going to want to go on and improve on his 3rd place from last year. He's got all the capabilities of doing that. If he turns up and performs, he's going to be in the mix. I think Evan is a very good strong man, a physical specimen. He's got all the attributes. I think that last year was sort of his real breakthrough year of coming 3rd. And I think he could potentially go on and be challenging for first place. Maybe even this year. I'm definitely not, you know, discounting that possibility. I think Evan could potentially win World's Strongest Man if he delivers a big performance. Luke Stoltman, obviously, Luke always there or thereabouts, pretty much always makes the final. Very good all round. You know, his deadlift's not amazing. It's good, it's not amazing, but aside from that, he hasn't really got many weaknesses. Great presser. I know he'll be really well trained on things like the press medley as well, so he'll be super efficient and super quick. And I've got to say, at Britain's Strongest Man, I think it's the best I've ever seen him beginning of this year. I think he's never looked as good as that. So I'm really hoping that Luke can put in a big performance. And, you know, I have every faith in him. He's always there or thereabouts. So I know that he doesn't feel that it's out of the question for him to get on the podium. And who knows? You know, we could have 2 Stoltmans on the podium at World's Strongest Man, which would be incredible. Nick Guardione won OSG last year. Was very unlucky not to win the Shore Classic as well. Won the Arnold qualifier. Nick did the Arnold earlier in the year, and I genuinely believe that World's Strongest Man is going to suit his strengths more than the Arnold. He's very athletic. He's you know, more of an athletic strongman. I'm not saying he's not strong, because he's very strong, but I think the Arnold's is really focused on that static strength and not so much on the other stuff. And I think that World's Strongest Man will suit Nick more, which will be interesting to see. But he's got Pavlo Cordiaca in his group, who's also an amazing athlete. Incredible strongman, Pavlo. Won Europe's Strongest Man in the past. Again, one of the most athletic guys on the circuit. He's very, very good, very explosive, technically really good on things like pressing. I actually watched his training for the press medley yesterday, and he looks so efficient when he's doing things. So yeah, I'm really interested to see how Pavlo gets on. And Andrew Flynn, great to see Andrew there. He's one of those guys where he just sort of goes about his business and you almost don't see him coming. He's so consistent and just chips away and nicks points here and there. You know, he might not have any standout moment in a show, But then you'll see all of a sudden he's in like 4th place or 3rd place at a big show, and you're like, oh, blimey, like how did he get there? Because he's so consistent and he just keeps chipping away on every event. I think Andrew has worked extremely hard over the years to get himself to World's Strongest Man. And, you know, do I think he's going to be going there and challenging for podium spots? Probably not. But don't be surprised if he's still in the mix at the end of the heats of getting through to the final. He's, yeah, like I said, he's one of those guys that just sort of nicks points here and there and just creeps up on you. So he's certainly not going to be out of his depth. He can hold his own in these big shows against the top guys, and it'd be great to see how he gets on. And I think he's a good character as well for World's Strongest Man. He's got that sort of real clean-cut image, you know, sort of very typical sort of happy British guy. And I think that that's great to have people like that, different personalities. But yeah, I like Andrew. I think he's a great strong man, and I'd love to see him do really well. And like I said, he won't be out of his depth, so don't be shocked if he's causing a few problems for guys like Luke and Evan and Nick. So there is the groups. Like I said, I'm going to do a video doing predictions, and I'm going to really have to pick this apart because I think that the level is just unbelievable. I mean, you sort of listen to those names being reeled off, and there's no gimmies this year. There's no, oh, you know, that's a bit of a weak group. Oh, that group's a bit easier. Every group is so tough. Even some of the guys that are perhaps not big names in terms of World's Strongest Man, you know, like your new guys like Andrew Flynn, Paddy Haynes, Rain O'Neill, you know, these sort of guys that are new to it in terms of new to World's Strongest Man. You know, they might not be superstar names because they've not been around at that level for very long, but trust me, they are really, really, really good. These guys are going to cause a lot of tears for some of these old established names. So it's going to be a hell of a battle, and I really can't wait for it. I think that they've done a great job selecting the groups. I think that it's not a job I would have wanted to go through those groups and try and pick out who's going where. I mean, I sort of sat down trying to think about the seeding process, because generally they'll seed the top 5 guys and put one in each group, and then the next 5 guys, and then they'll sort of just fill the others around based on sort of personalities and countries and everything else. So there's a lot of work that goes into it, but even to pick the top 10 seeds, I bet if you ask 10 people that know a lot about strongman, they would all have a different top 5 and top 6 to 10. I think that the standard is so high now that it's really hard to seed the groups even. So hats off to the guys that pick the groups. I believe it was Darren had a lot of saying that. Obviously there's other people that have some input as well, but I mean, Darren sort of sets them out and then they go from there. And I think he's done a fantastic job of putting them together. I don't think anyone's got an easy group. I don't think anyone's got a sort of gimme. I think that everyone's going to have to work their butts off in the heats and final if they want to win this title. So really excited for it. Can't wait. And one last thing, there might be an adjustment on the running order of the groups. So they were doing it where group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then next one is group 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Me and Darren were up late last night working out a different structure to make it fair for everyone, so everyone goes before and after each other as equal as they can. I went through and did all the sort of calculations with Darren last night, and we think we've got it figured out. So it's totally fair now. Everyone goes after each other and before them as equal as it can be, and everyone still gets to go out first at some point, second, third, fourth and fifth. So yeah, we've sort of figured out a better way of doing it. So that's going to be a change, but I'll explain more when I've got the sort of full information. But we did work it all out last night, and it's just more fair now. So once I've got it, do a video and pop it up just here so everyone can sort of see how it all works. So yeah, anyway, really excited, can't wait, and yeah, keep following, keep up to date, and obviously please subscribe to the channel. I'll be posting as much as I can from World's Strongest Man behind the scenes. Obviously our hands are tied a little bit, but I will try and get some good content while I'm there. So catch you guys soon.